I was standing in front of a restaurant that made you feel poor just by looking at it, holding my 6-year-old daughter's hand while a man in a tailored suit pretended not to see us. That was the moment I realized something was about to go very wrong. Or very right. My name is Ethan Cole. I don't look like someone people rush to impress. I wear simple clothes, drive an old SUV, and most days I look like a tired dad who hasn't slept enough, which, to be fair, is accurate. That night was supposed to be special. It was my daughter Lily's birthday. Her first birthday since her mom passed away. The first one that was just me and her. She had picked the restaurant herself after seeing a picture online. Big windows, lights everywhere, people laughing. She told me, "Daddy, it looks like a movie place," and I promised her we'd go. I shouldn't have promised. You know what I mean. The host finally glanced at us like we were an inconvenience that learned how to speak. He looked me up and down, then at Lily, then back at his tablet. No smile, no warmth. "Reservation?" he asked, already bored. "Yes," I said, trying to stay calm. "Table for 2. "Cole." He tapped the screen. Slowly. Way too slowly. Then he frowned. "I don't see anything," he said. I felt that tight feeling in my chest. It should be there. "I confirmed this morning." He shrugged. "We're fully booked." Lily squeezed my hand. Hard. I looked down and saw her trying not to cry. Her eyes were shiny, her mouth pulled tight. That look kids get when they're holding it together for you. I leaned closer to the host. "Please, it's her birthday." He glanced over my shoulder toward the bar where a group of well-dressed people were laughing loudly. Then he looked back at me and said, "Sir, there's nothing I can do." That was it. No apology, no empathy, just dismissal. I stepped aside with Lily. She finally whispered, "Did I do something wrong?" That broke me. I told her no, of course not. Daddy just made a mistake. Inside, though, I felt small, smaller than I had in years. I had done everything right, saved for months, planned ahead, and still I was standing outside watching other families walk in while my daughter's birthday fell apart in my hands. I suggested pizza. She nodded, but she looked empty, like the excitement had drained out of her completely. That's when the door opened again. A woman stepped out. Early 40s, sharp eyes, calm presence. She wore a black blazer, not fancy but confident. She looked straight at me. "Excuse me," she said. I couldn't help overhearing. I immediately tensed. Years of being judged does that to you. "I manage the restaurant next door," she continued. "It's not as flashy, but we've got good food and an open table, if you want it." I hesitated. Pride again. Stupid pride. She looked at Lily and crouched down. "Hey, I heard it's your birthday." Lily nodded slowly. "How old?" 6. The woman smiled. 6 is huge. That means you officially get extra dessert. Lily laughed. Just a little, but it was enough. We followed her inside. The place was warm. Simple. No chandeliers, no pretension. Just people eating and talking like they belonged. They gave us a corner table. Brought Lily a cupcake with a candle. The staff sang off-key and genuine. Lily beamed like the world had been fixed. I watched her smile and felt something shift in me. Gratitude, yeah. But also anger. Why did kindness feel like an exception instead of the norm? When the bill came, I tried to tip big. The manager, her name was Nora, gently pushed it back. "Just pay it forward someday," she said. I didn't know it then, but that sentence would change my life. A week later, I went back. Not for dinner, just to thank her properly. We talked. I learned she'd worked her way up from server to manager. Single mom, long hours, no safety net. I told her my story too, how I'd spent years being underestimated, how people saw my old car and my worn jacket and assumed I was nothing. They didn't know I had built a logistics company from my garage. They didn't know I'd sold it quietly and walked away from the spotlight because I was tired of proving myself. She listened, really listened. We started meeting for coffee, then our kids met. Then weekends happened. Slowly, naturally. One night I mentioned an idea I'd had for years. A learning center. Somewhere kids like Lily could go after school. Safe, free, encouraging. Nora's eyes lit up like she'd been waiting her whole life for someone to say those words. We built it together. And then the world noticed again. This time it wasn't a snobby host, it was the internet. An article came out, twisted everything, called Nora a social climber, said she'd targeted me, used my money, used my grief. People who had never met us suddenly knew everything about us. My phone exploded. Friends warned me, advisors told me to step back, to protect my image. I looked at Nora sitting at my kitchen table exhausted, scared, still showing up every day for her kid and mine. And I made a choice. I went public, told the whole story. The rejection, the birthday, the cupcake, the kindness. Some people believed me, some didn't. But something interesting happened. Others spoke up. People Nora had helped. Parents, co-workers, kids. The narrative cracked. The center opened 6 months later. Bright walls, laughter, noise, life. Lily ran around like she owned the place. That day I realized something. The real victory wasn't proving anyone wrong, it was building something right. People still argue about us, about privilege, about motives, about who deserves help and who doesn't. Let them. All I know is this. A man once looked at me and decided I didn't matter. A woman looked at my daughter and decided she did. And that made all the difference. So now I want to ask you something. When you see someone being dismissed, judged, overlooked, who do you choose to be, the one who turns away, or the one who opens a door? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think.